Yo, 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 what's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. Myself and Nick are here to bring you guys an overreaction show. The 49ers won! We're the best team in the NFL! We're going to the playoffs! We're about to win the Super Bowl! Oh, wait, we're already eliminated, right? All right, my bad. Let me stop overreacting on the overreaction show. Before we get down to the nitty-gritty, I want to let you guys know where to find us. Check us out on the website. That is www.nothingbutniners.com. You'll find our social media pages there. We have Twitter and Snapchat. Those handles are Nothing But Nine ERS. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook, and those are Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out. No numbers in there anywhere. Guys, we got good articles over there. We have a bunch of the podcasts are over there as well. We have all the social media pages and everything. We even have an About You section, so you guys can get to know some of the writers that we have over there. So, guys, make sure you check that out, all right? Nick, I got a question for you about the website, all right? Now, I know you're over there. You got all this stuff going on in the background. I'm getting kind of jealous about what's going on over there, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was just bringing up the live feed. I can't see you on the live feed, so you were like talking, and I'm sitting on screen, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh, that's because I clicked your box. Everybody wants to see my beautiful face. Hey, what's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike. I'm in here, man. I had you guys looking at Nick. Hopefully, he wasn't picking his nose or anything like that.
No, so, I mean, you know how it goes. But yeah, man, I got some new goodies, man. A big shout out to 49er Hodge, man. Sent me the salute to service pull out the faithful then, faithful now flag. I'm loving it, Hodge. Oh, and a new faithful then, faithful now T-shirt. So.
Yeah, man, got to represent, especially this time of year, because it is not looking good for us Niners. And the fans are coming and going, man. There's people saying, I'm done with this. And people saying, nah, I'm sticking it out. Salute and respect to those who are sticking it out. I'm out here trying to get festive. You guys see the Christmas tree in the background? All right, you can't really see it because of how the bright the lights are and everything. But trust me, there's a tree back there, all right? And you guys can look over my shoulder to see a little bit of the 49ers thing when my wife is in the refrigerator, but you can't see her. Don't tell her I said that because she hates when she's on camera, guys. All right, so, Nick, my question to you is this. We had a section on the fan page, on the website, a fan page. How's that doing, man?
On the website?
Yeah.
It's doing well. We need to update some pictures. We need to get some new faithful pictures. Need to get some people to send in their faithful adventures, or your Christmas tree ornaments, or you dressed up in front of your tree or such like that. Send all that stuff over. We'll get that up and running on the website, and get those pictures up and go from there.
That's exactly what I was getting at. We want you guys to send us some of your pictures, man. I don't care if you guys have pets that you're dressing up for the holidays. I don't care if you guys are dressing up for the holidays. I don't care if you're not even dressing up for the holidays. You're just getting in game spirit. We want to see those pictures, guys. So send us an email at nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. If you guys prefer to do Gmail, you can send it to nothingbutniners@gmail.com, guys. I mean, you can hit us up. If you have my personal information, I'm 49ersMike_NF on Twitter. You guys can hit me up there. Nick is 49er Faithful 365. There's no S at the end of 49er. It's 49er Faithful 365 all day, every day, baby. So, yeah, so let's get into this overreaction, man, Nick. I think I found a good luck thing for the team. One, I found my 49er sneakers. I haven't had these sneakers in almost 2 years, man. We bought the house. I had everything packed away. I couldn't find them. I found the bag with my 49er sneakers in there. I busted those bad boys out today, and I wore them proudly. I was all in the store with them on and everything. People saw my Niner sneakers, and boom, we win. Are the sneakers the magic touch? Like, you had your Ronnie Lott jersey last year, and at the end of the season, I'm finding mine. It's the 49er sneakers, man. And that's why the Niners won, right? I mean, that's what it was?
No, the Niners won because you didn't watch them.
First of all, I had the game on. I just couldn't look directly at it, okay?
Well, so that's the same as not watching it. If your eyes weren't set on it, you weren't watching it. You were listening to it. So, Mike, I'm boycotting. You're not allowed to watch the rest of the first half for the rest of the year.
It's crazy because I turned into it like there was maybe like I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes left in the first half, and I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on? Kittle's stats are crazy, and I'm like, yo, this is nuts. And I'm like, I can't wait to see the second half. We didn't do shit. We didn't do anything the second half. I was like, what happened? How do we fall apart? I was like, I got to stop watching this thing.
Bro, I had two guys go off in fantasy this week. Not to get off sidetrack, but Kittle, obviously, he had like 30 points in the first half, and then Derrick Henry, who I started 5 minutes before the game started, instead of going with Adams from Philly. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start Henry this week because I got screwed by the whole Hunt thing because I traded for Hunt 3 weeks ago, and yeah, we all know what happened with that. So, but anyway, man, let's talk about this game because there was excitement in the air. There was it looked like this team was playing like they were fresh, they were healthy, it just looked like the energy was different. I don't know if it was the news about Tony York or if it was just a good week of practice. The way they came out firing on all cylinders right from the gate.
Yeah, and before we keep going, respect, prayers, love, and condolences go out to the York family at the loss of Tony York, Jed York's brother. Nick, you're spot on. We should have touched on that at the top of the show, but at least we got to it early enough before we get into the shenanigans of how everything goes. But yeah, the passing of Jed York's brother. For those of you who don't know, 35-year-old passed away on Friday, I believe they said it was. And immediately after the game, Shanahan said this game was dedicated to Tony York, who was the biggest 49ers fan in that York family. That was an interesting quote, but yeah, so that's what he said, and that's how he felt about it. So yeah, back to what you were saying, man. The energy did seem different, though. The guys came out like they were rejuvenated. You know what I mean? Maybe they were just happy to be back at home because the team was on the road last week. You know what I mean? And I think they were on the road the week before also, right? Who did we play before Seattle?
Tampa.
And that was in Tampa also. So back-to-back road games. Maybe they felt better, a little rested, excited to be home in front of the home crowd. Nick Mullins, listen, man, I thought Nick Mullins was going to get killed today. And I wrote this long soliloquy on Twitter about, our lack of overreaction show from last week and everything and my thoughts on the game and everything. And here I am telling people, stop expecting wins. It's a miracle that we scored 20 points in these games anyway. By the way, we scored exactly 20 points in the game today. It's little things like that I was saying we should be grateful for, with all the holes and everything and all these different pieces that we have on this team. And here they come out and they're like, yeah, we're going to get those 20 points. But the defense showed up and showed out today, man. So let's talk about it, Nick. I mean, what are some of your biggest takeaways from the game?
All right. So biggest takeaways away from the game is defense. I mean, the defense played from first snap to pretty much the last snap. Even got an extra set of plays in because of the fact that Nick Mullins kneeled a little early and stopped the clock with like 4 seconds left in game or 5 seconds, gave them another play. All right, so a lot of people are out for Salah's head. A ton of people are out for Salah's head. I'm still not there. I still think that this entire season has been there's been a few different things. One, it seems to me as weeks go on more and more with the talent that he's using, Salah is adapting to getting better at calling certain plays when certain plays could be called. Is he 100%? No, he's not 100% yet. He's not there. I still think you got to remember that he was never a defense coordinator before last year. And it kind of goes the same way as quarterbacks and such like that. You need that time. You need to know your players. Robert Saleh has been hit with a ton of things that probably linger him from doing what he really wants to do. One is injuries. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, we don't have that many players that are injured, blah, 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 but we really do. You said this in your rant on Twitter. But you also got to look at the main thing, no pass rush. Ronald Blair needs to be on the field more. I mean, this guy is coming into his own. He does his job. He doesn't bite. He stays home. He attacks when he needs to attack. Marcel Harris looked a lot better today. Took a lot better angles, tackled better, played well. Okello played well. Who else? DJ Reed, another bright spot, played really well today. Tavarius Moore got hurt, but he played well today. It just seemed like the energy, I don't know if it was because we had a lot of guys in there that aren't starters and haven't been playing. So they're like, okay, this is my time to shine. And they actually took full advantage of it. They took every piece of advantage that they could with it. I know I'm going to take a lot of slack for defending Salah, but I really don't think that it's all on Salah. I think that we have a young team. Execution from players have been really bad because you got to look at this. If a coach calls a play and your player misses the assignment, in this scheme, you need all 11 players to do their job, right? Just shake your head, yeah. You need all 11 players to do their job. If one person messes up, it changes the whole outcome of the entire scheme. If your pass rush doesn't get there by when they're supposed to, there's so many holes in the zone. If one player misses and doesn't roll over and misses coverage, you have a blown coverage play. A lot of these times where we're getting beat are blown coverages. That you're telling me that falls on coaching. The coach called the right play, but the player didn't execute. So therefore, who's that fall on? The player. But anyway, I'm not going to go on that rant. But I think the defense played or better than they have been playing this week. A lot of games that we have lost, people were coming at me on Twitter saying, well, or Facebook, one of our group pages, whatever it was, is that the Niners always go to a conservative play calling type thing. Yes, they don't throw the football that much. They barely threw the football, it seems like, in the second half. They ran more. But our defense has given up a lot of big plays, and we lose those games on – how many games have we lost on a 2-minute drive? 3? At the end of the game, Green Bay, Arizona, and the Giants.
Arizona twice, right?
Yeah. So that's 4 teams we lost on a 2-minute drive. Who does that come down to? You're still telling me that's the coach? The coach played the entire game, lack of execution, blah, blah, blah. But I thought the defense played overall well today. Do I think that they still can play better? I do, because they did start trying to let the Broncos come back. Offensively, Nick Mullins threw for over 300 yards again, a high quarterback rating. We definitely have ourselves a quarterback competition going into 2019 with CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins as a backup. Definitely have competition. If we don't, I don't know what to say. Then I can start putting this on Shanahan.
I like Mullins more than I like Beathard. I haven't been that fond of Beathard, but that's just me. So I don't know. I do want to talk about some of the players on defense, though, and this is going to be Marcel Harris. I want to focus on him in particular, and DJ Reed. And then really, before I even get to that, you mentioned some of these games that we lost at the end of games and how it's on players and not on coaching. You also got to remember that 2 of those games, we had a corner go down on those 2-minute drives, and Aaron Rodgers and then
Eli
Manning and Rosen.
Yep.
They all targeted the corner that came in at the end of those 2-minute drives. And I'll be honest with you, when Akello went down at the end of the game, I was like, oh, man, they're going to do it again. Like, it's about to happen all over again. We always lose someone in the secondary when the game is within 1 score, when we're winning, and then the other team marches down the field and they come back on us. And when I saw Akello go down, I was like, oh, it's about to happen again. And luckily, he came back out there. Keller Witherspoon has been balling.
But Greg Maben, they went right at him. And Greg Maben made a hell of a play.
Mm-hmm. They went right at him. Yeah, absolutely. And, a lot of people are going to say that we got conservative in the game down the stretch and everything. And on defense, we should have been more aggressive and all that. No, we didn't. They just were going for it every 4th down. Our defense was holding those guys to 3 and outs. They just didn't care. They were using all 4 downs their last, 2 or 3 possessions. They went for it on 4th down every single time because they were down 2 scores. So they had to do that. And like Richard Sherman said in his presser, teams that live by going for it on 4th down are going to die soon in the NFL. If you live by it, you're going to die by it, and you won't last long in the NFL. So it's not a knock on the defense that, oh, we let up a touchdown at the end and all that. It took, 2 or 3 4th down conversions for that to happen. It's not a bad day at all. I promise you guys, it's not a bad day. If your defense is good enough to force teams to have to go for it on 4th down, that's a win. That's a positive. But I want to talk about Marcel Harris really quick. I was hoping to see more of him this week, and we did. And last week he was getting a bad rap because he was where he was supposed to be. He was quick, he was instinctive, but he was missing a lot of tackles. You know, he was getting there, but he wasn't really doing anything. Well, this week he got a lot better. He was second on the team in tackles. He had 5 tackles, and you know, he looked a lot better. He looked more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like he was like direct, like he was more decisive. That's the word I want. He looked more decisive this week. And then DJ Reed was a beast, man. And seeing him get that sack, I love when guys in the secondary can come in on a blitz. You know, we've seen Richard Sherman do it. I like seeing DJ Reed do it. And 10 tackles he had this game. That's a lot. That's saying a lot. You know what I mean? 10 tackles is a lot. Now, I don't know if people don't like that or what, but you're leaving your secondary a little bit vulnerable. But I liked it, man. I like seeing it. So I want to ask your opinion on that. In particular, Marcel Harris and DJ Reed. Your thoughts on those two young upcoming players for the 49ers?
Look, I thought they were, like I said, I thought Marcel Harris came and played a better game today than he played last week. His angles were better. His tackling technique was better. His coverage skills were better. It looked like he took what he watched on tape that he did wrong last week and executed it better this week. I still think he's a decent player, but I mean, I need to see more of him. DJ Reed, I mean, this kid just brings the boom. I mean, he tries to take your head off with every hit. He was good angles today, very good tackling, great in coverage. I mean, I think that, you know, we're seeing these young guys that we haven't seen before, and everybody's saying that, you know, John and Kyle, you know, blew this draft and yada, yada, yada. But we haven't really seen much of what we used this draft. I mean, you got Julian Taylor played today. He played some today. Peta played a couple snaps today. Ronald Blair is finally starting to play. Marcel Harris, DJ Reed, Moore, Tavarius Moore. Richard Sherman got beat a couple times today, you know, trying to bait a quarterback and not working, trying to take a gamble. I don't think there were some other plays that once we get to the offensive side, we'll talk about. But I think overall those two guys played very well today. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to keep watching them and see what happens from there.
All right, so I wanted to ask you about another player that I was actually excited to see today. And when I started paying attention in the second half, I only saw him make 1 tackle. That was Peter Tampino. Did he not get a lot of snaps? Did you see him at all today? Yeah. And again, you know, for people who are wondering, no, I was not watching the Raiders game. All right. I started playing Call of Duty at about 12 o'clock. All right. Me and my buddy were playing online, and I swear to you guys, it was just one game that lasted over 4 hours. We were on level 46. It was a zombie mode. We were level 46. And I was like, God, look, my game is on. I got to die. We just had to literally put the controls down and die. But don't ever accuse me of watching the Raiders game. I saw the comments in there. Don't think I didn't see the comments. I saw the comments, all right? Was not watching no damn Raiders. All right, get out of here with that nonsense. Our game was on. I just couldn't pay attention to it. So, Nick, was Peter in there? Was he effective at all? Like I said, I saw the one tackle, but that was it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he only came in for like 3 or 4 snaps. I don't think he was in a lot, but he did have 1 tackle, his first career tackle, where the guy went into basically a screen. He came back and caught up to him and made the tackle from behind. But I mean, that was pretty much it for him. Another guy, Antoine Exum, he's playing well as well. You know, he's playing well. Really, actually played really, really good today.
And also, Cassius Marsh, he had a heck of a series. I won't say that the whole game he played well, but there was a series where he had a tackle, and they didn't get the first down. That was on 3rd down. And then they went for it on 4th, and it was a run. They tried to run it inside and then bounce it back outside. And when that happened, Marsh he was able to shed his tackle, run to the sideline, and tackle the ball carrier short of the first down marker. So those 2 plays were really good tackles by Marsh. And it's weird because if you look at the stats, according to the unofficial stats as of right now, those were Marsh's only 2 tackles of the game. So that was pretty cool to see him. He ended a series on 3rd and 4th down on his own. So that was pretty badass to see also. Wasn't quite a sack. One of them was on the quarterback. The quarterback was scrambling for a first down. He stopped them 2 or 3 yards short, and then the Broncos decided to go for it on 4th down, and it was a run play to the right, or to the top of the screen, and he bounced out. He shed his tackle and ran back around and made the tackle and just short of the sticks, and the Niners got the ball. That was on the drive that, if I'm not mistaken, after we got the ball, I think that was the interception to that bounced off of Taylor's hands, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that was the series right before then. So
yeah. I mean, defensively, I thought we played well today. I mean, there were some things that we did offensively. I mean, Dante Pettis, he had a touchdown and some good yardage and a big 33-yard play. But I mean, on that 3rd and 7, got to catch that football. Like, you got to catch that football. It's in your gut. You got to catch it. But hell of a play with the 33-yard play by Dante. Dante Pettis has 5 touchdowns already. That's the most for a receiver since Anquan Bolden.
It's crazy because all 5 of those touchdowns are in the last 3 games or something like that.
Yeah.
No, well, he had one his first game, and then he had one catch 2 weeks ago. Last week he had 2 touchdowns, and this week he has 1 more. So, it's been interesting watching him grow. I would still like to see him doing more as a route runner, but it's awesome that we all of a sudden have a red zone threat. Oh, go ahead.
You know how big I am on Nick Mullins, and there was one play that Dante Pettis was wide open and he didn't throw the football up at the top of the screen. If Pettis would have caught it, he would have went pay dirt.
That was at the end of the game, right? That was in the 3rd or 4th quarter. That was second half.
No, I think it was in the second quarter.
Oh, okay. I saw a play where it was in the second half, and I think it was second half. It might have been right before halftime, actually. But the thing is that Mullins had pressure coming. He couldn't get the ball to him, and it was Pettis was lined up on the left side of the offense, running to the right. And when he went to throw it, it just kind of fluttered out there and hit the ground in front of him.
Yeah.
But if he had caught it, it was just green grass ahead of him.
That's a total different play than I'm talking about. Pettis was lined up to the right at the top. There was a motion, and the guy went and rolled with the motion. Mullins got the snap off. He had time, and then he waited. He held the ball a little too long. Pettis was right there, wide open, and he ended up double clutching and throwing to the middle, which ended up being an incomplete pass because the linebacker blocked it down. But if he would have just he could have literally just – I can't throw with my right hand because my shoulder's all fucked up. But if he literally would have just tossed the ball 5 yards, 10 yards, Pettis was wide open, he would have went pay dirt. The only other thing I see with Pettis is he has really good footwork with separation, but he slips a ton. Like, he trips over his own feet a lot. Like, I can see when he was trying – and it could be the Niners field, but I've seen it at away games too. But coming back to passes, he falls down on his ass a lot. He literally falls down. I've seen it like 2 or 3 times today. And when you talk about – you're big with talking about timing. Well, that's all part of timing. If a receiver's falling down and that's the first read, it's not there. So it does that. But that's what I was trying to say to you before. If a receiver's falling down or he's – you go to X, Y, X falls down, Y's not open, and the pass rusher's already there. So –
did you see the play where Pettis fell down and Mullins threw the ball to him anyway?
Yeah, horrible.
What the hell was that, man?
Horrible.
What was that?
Oh, he got a pass interference call for it.
Oh my God, man. That's nuts.
So you don't know if the ref sees that he just fell. So that's why I think he threw the football to try to draw the penalty. Because he threw it down low to where it wasn't going to get picked off or anything, or it was going to be an incomplete pass. Make the ref look there and then see that the defender's right over top of the receiver and make him think he pulled him down. I mean, it's stupid, but it's also somewhat kind of smart. But I'm not going to give Mullins that because I give him a lot of praise, but to me it was just stupid. So,
all right. So I see what you're saying. Maybe it was just a good play. All right. Trying to get your man Nick some bail there. Okay, I see.
Well, I mean, he did draw the penalty, so I can't.
All right.
I can't say what was going on in his head, but he definitely did. He definitely did draw the he definitely did draw the penalty on that. So
I know you said you want to switch over to the offense. We've been talking about Pettis and everything. So let's talk about the offense. Do you think that the first half success of this team had anything to do with Marquise Goodwin's presence on the field today? Because, well, I won't lead you with that. I'll just ask you that question and let you answer.
It has to. As much as anybody wants to deny it, it has to, because he is a deep threat. His speed will control the tempo of a game or the defense on any side or any team that you play, because he's going to demand that over-the-top help. And he also is he's a very good route runner too, so which helps him for comeback balls and stuff like that. But I think that with a Dante Pettis and a Marquise Goodwin, they're both pretty quick and shifty receivers. They're not both as fast as each other, but quick and shifty receivers. So the safety doesn't know which side to roll to, whether they're playing one deep or two deep. So I think Marquise Goodwin, as much as I hate to say that he does make a huge difference, I think he makes a huge difference.
Now, I'm gonna question you on that. You just said, as much as you hate to say he makes a huge difference, why do you hate to say it? You were the one before the season started. Mike, this is our QB. I mean, this is our wide receiver one. He dictates coverage. He's got good hands. He's got good speed and good separation. He's clutch. You were the one saying all preseason and after last season, you were like, this is our wide receiver one. We don't need a number one wide receiver. We got good one. Now you're saying you hate to say it. What's up?
Well, the reason I'm saying I hate to say it is because I don't want to put our success on just one player. So,
all right. I got you.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't want to say, as much as I hate to say it, with Marquise Goodwin, do I have a better? I don't want to say that I have a better feeling that we'll win a game when Marquise Goodwin is on the field because of what he dictates from a defense.
But there's nothing wrong with saying that, bro.
No, I know there's not, but I'm not going to say that the Niners aren't. That they're only successful when Goodwin's on the field, because I don't want to make it seem like, oh, Marquise Goodwin's out, we're going to lose. But you can definitely tell the difference when he's on the field in play action, which we all know Kyle Shanahan's system is complete play action. I mean, you saw Kittle today. I mean, people can't keep up with Kittle. And Kittle's smart. He's going to dip and he's going to dive and he's going to get open. He's not like I'm a shake you type of route runner, but he will get open, and he has class speed. I can't take that away from him.
I love George Kittle, man. I didn't want to harp on it. I mean, obviously he's the player of the game and everything. I mean, 7 catches, 210 yards, a touchdown, long of 85. I mean, there's George Kittle's the best tight end in football. I don't care what people say. You can tell me about Travis Kelce. You can tell me about all this and that. This dude is doing it with his third string quarterback. He's doing it with inconsistent weapons all over the field. He's doing it while people are double teaming him. You look at Travis Kelce, people aren't necessarily double teaming Travis Kelce. They're double teaming Kareem Hunt or West, or I mean not West. What are the guys' names over there? I said Hunt, but
you're talking about in Kansas City?
Yeah, why is I'm going blank?
You having a brain fart over there?
I am, man. But you guys know what I'm talking about. My point is that
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Hill. That's it. I said Hunt, but even when Hunt was there, you got some bail for a guy like Travis Kelce. We've had nobody over here. We've had backup Breida, we've had backup Beathard, we've had backup Mullins, we've had backup Wilson, and meanwhile, the entire time this is happening, George Kittle has been eating. He's been dominating. And that's one of the reasons that a guy like DeAndre Hopkins is my favorite wide receiver in the NFL, because I've seen him do it with different quarterbacks over and over. He's always going to be that guy out there dominating at the line of scrimmage, dominating in his route, dominating at the top of the stem. And he's got great hands, excellent field awareness. He controls his body like not many other receivers can in the NFL, and he does it regardless of who his quarterback is, regardless of the situation that's going on in the field, down in, down out. And it doesn't matter if it's 1st and 10 or if it's 4th and 40. He's operating the way that he should. And so I feel that same exact way about George Kittle. Plus, George Kittle's a hell of a blocker. George Kittle's a hell of a teammate.
And that's where I was going to say that separates him from me is I think Kittle and Ertz and Kelsey are pretty much the same as pass catching tight ends. But I think Kittle overdoes both of those guys in blocking. And the ability to sell a block compared to a pass route. He does it very well. If you watch him, he'll literally hold for the right amount of time and then separate to get the pass. And I think that's what separates him from, a Kelsey and a Zach Ertz. And I mean, I love Zach Ertz too. And I'm not a big Philly fan, but I just like football. And I think Zach Ertz is somebody who doesn't get enough credit as well because of Kelsey, Gronkowski, such like that. But I think Zach Ertz and Kittle are the best tight ends in the league right now. And I think what separates those two is the blocking methods, the ability to block for Kittle. I think that's what puts him over the top.
Yeah. Another player I was happy to see on the offensive side of the ball today was Jeff Wilson Jr. You know how I was champion for this guy to get a shot. He came in, he finished the game with 23 carries, 90 yards, just under – what, mamas? Just under 4 yards a carry. He had 3.9 yards a carry, and that was real. That he didn't have some inflated 40-yard run that boosted his numbers. He had a long of 11 today. Just a consistent pounder and a grinder with the rock in his hand. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, 3.9 is nothing to write home about. It's not. But when you're the fourth running back on the roster, you know what I mean, with the third quarterback, that's what you're going to get.
The thing that I love most about Jeff Wilson Jr. is that he always falls forward and he runs hard. He did have some sketchy dropping the balls today, though. And we know how that goes over here. You can't afford to give away takeaways. But no, I think Jeff Wilson is definitely a good running back. I don't think he's better than Breida, though. I just still don't. I still don't think he's better than Breida. I think as a practice squad guy, stepping in and filling in, I think he does amazing for that. I mean, he runs hard, he falls forward, and he's just he goes out and plays the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't trying to say that he's better than Breida or anything like that. He's just someone that I wanted to get a shot under center. Not under center, but behind the quarterback or next to the quarterback, depending on their alignment. He's someone that I wanted to see getting handoffs during the game in meaningful time, and I was happy to see it continue this week. We didn't have much of a choice, but he got 90 yards against that Denver front, which is pretty damn good.
I'm just happy to be able to sit here and say that he's better than oh, never mind. I won't say it.
With Alfred Morris?
Yeah, your bruiser.
My bruiser, Alfred Morris. But he's a bruiser himself. He's a pounding back. That's what I like.
Bruiser than Alfred Morris is.
Yeah, but the fact is, we got a bruiser because we needed one. Now, if there was a 3rd-and-1 situation, I don't know who they would have given the ball to, whether it be Morris or Wilson. But I would feel confident with either one of those guys in a 3rd-and-1 type of situation.
So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's something that I find comforting. I was going to move on to the next player. But go ahead. You said you got something. I just
pulled up the chat. So somebody said, "Why is he not better than Breida?" I mean, I think Breida's more elusive in space, ability to get see holes better. There were a couple holes today that Wilson could have cut back on and probably got a lot more runs. And I just want to say, experience-wise, he's not better than Breida.
That's where I'm going to agree with you. It's just experience. Honestly, I think he's a better blocker than Breida already. I do think that he blocks better than Breida. Breida worked hard this offseason on his pass catching, so I would even give Breida the upper hand on pass catching right now. But only through 2 games, I can't say that he's better than Breida at the moment. It wouldn't if we let this thing play out, over the course of the next 2 seasons, we might end up saying something like that. But as of right now, I mean, Breida doesn't fumble the ball as much. Wilson had fumble issues in preseason. They carried over to today also. And even though it goes down statistically as a fumble, and I heard them mention it in the broadcast today, he had one last week against Seattle. It wasn't really a fumble. That he was down, and then they pulled the ball away from him.
It was the Navarro Bowman play all over again.
Exactly. But as of right now, he has worse ball security than Matt Breida does. Matt Breida's ball security is better. And like I said, Breida's worked on his hands a little bit more. We haven't seen Wilson be that pass catcher the way Matt Breida has been kind of forced into that role yet. So you can't just say he's better yet, but it doesn't mean that we can't even develop more.
I think it's hard to compare them because they're two different type backs. I mean, Wilson looks for contact. He's going to try to run you over all the time. As where Breida's really elusive and better vision, he's going to try to get not touched. He's going to look for the right hole. He has more explosion than Wilson does. So they're two different total backs. I mean, I don't think Wilson, is a bad running back. Don't get me wrong. I think he's just young, and the adapting in the NFL is going to what makes him change. But I don't think we can really compare them as to who's better, because I think their game is total difference. Like, I think they're two total different types of backs. It's kind of like Alfred Morris and Matt Breida. Like, they're just, one's a power runner who has some explosion, and one is a vision guy who has more explosion and is going to try to get not touched compared to where I'm going to run you over and I'm going to fall forward.
And that's what this goes back. This is going to be next season. I'm going to be saying it next offseason. If McKinnon's healthy, we don't need Matt Breida again. I'm going to be saying it because, like you said, they're two different types of backs. You know what I mean? And you know me, I want the diversity in the backfield and different features in the backs, not the same ones. And, right now, Breida is the McKinnon type of back, the guy that you can get in space and he can do some explosive things with the ball where Wilson's just going to run you over. I love seeing him truck people, man. I get my jollies off that way. No offense to anybody. But I really enjoy seeing him just truck people and run through people instead of running around them or heading for the sideline and things like that. And he's got the body to take the bruising. He's not one of these guys that's going to get out there and get hit and then he's running to the sideline holding his arm. No offense, Nick. He's not going to be holding his arm like, he's all hurt or anything like that. He's going to deliver the punishment, not take the punishment. And I really, really like that. This guy gets his head down and he goes for it. But there's some negative things about today's game too that we got to talk about. And I want to stick with the offensive side of the ball here. I see you looking at the comments. So if there's anything that you want to jump in with, let me know before I continue. But I want to talk about the offensive line today. I want to talk about Joe Staley had a catch. That's good for Joe. That was awesome to see. Joe Staley is a funny dude, man. He's really freaking funny. I like Joe Staley a lot. But I want to talk about one of my favorite offensive linemen in our center, Weston Richburg. This guy is a problem, and in a negative way. I'm talking about in a negative way.
Yeah, because you just said last week that we were like, we got to steal with him, and and then they said this year that his rating, he's really
They said he's allowed 29 quarterback pressures or some crazy shit like that.
And not only that, he steps on Mullins and the quarterback all the time. I don't understand it. It's either him or the guard is tripping our quarterback. Why?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And that's what brought me to this. And, it's I like him because he's nasty. He's got this tenacity about him. I like nasty guys in the trenches on the defensive line, the offensive line. And Dominican too is my favorite player in the NFL because of that nastiness. You know what I mean? He's a calm gentleman off the field, but when in between the whistles, when it's go time, he's a nasty SOB that you don't want to mess with. And that's what I like about Richburg as well. Same thing I liked about Alex Boone when we had him. But when these guys get off the field, they're a little bit more gentle. But Weston Richburg, man, he might be a problem. The Niners might still need to look for another center, Nick. I mean, I want to get your thoughts on it. We heard about the pressures that he gave up and everything. He's not that good in pass pro based off of what they were saying. What are your thoughts on him overall? Or is it just, if we didn't hear that, would we feel the same way? They said it.
No, I mean, If you didn't hear that today, you wouldn't know it. I do see a lot more pressure coming up the middle. In those type of areas, but I would have never guessed that it was that many pressures, 29 pressures. I think he's fine. I mean, I think it's his first year in the system. It's a difficult blocking scheme. This offense, you have 5 different plays that you're blocking all different, but they all look the same. So I wouldn't say that he has to go yet because I think our offensive line has been a I think our offensive line has been an A+ compared to what it was in years past, the last 3 years, I would say. Because, I mean, we obviously have a rushing game. We obviously are scoring 20+ points. Our quarterbacks are throwing for over 300 yards. So I think we just take it out on the offensive line sometimes too much, because it always seems like it's in crucial situations.
Well, one of those things that you don't, you hear, okay, this player gave up X amount of pressures, right? You don't know how long the quarterback was holding the ball, because someone's still responsible for the pressure. You don't know if it was a blitz. You know what I mean? And a lot of times when with Mullins in particular, even Beathard, when those guys were being pressured, it was coming right up the middle, right at their faces. And that was from blitzes. So, I mean, someone's still going to be responsible for that pressure. You just don't know who exactly it's going to be. So, I mean, those numbers, they'll you got to take it with a grain of salt. But, yeah, you're right. I don't think we absolutely need to look for another center just yet. But Weston Richburg has got to get this shit together, man. That's my guy. Some more negatives from the offensive side of the ball. They just went stale in the second half. I want to get your opinion on that. Like, what'd you see? What looked different? Do you think that we got too conservative, or we're just trying to force the run more to take time off the clock because we had a lead? I mean, what do you think went wrong in the second half, or did nothing go wrong and the game played out the way we wanted it to? Did Kyle Shanahan try to, hold his cards and not show more of his playbook?
You're gonna have me stumped on this, because I'm not really sure what the hell happened. If I felt like Kyle was trying to be conservative, because he didn't want to put, a practice squad quarterback in position to throw a mistake. It could have been with the receivers slipping a lot. It just takes one slip and it's an interception and game's back in. I felt like he was more aggressive in the first half than he was in the second half. I don't want to say that it was conservative. I don't want to say that he wasn't calling plays to lose the game, but he also wasn't calling plays to win the game. So I don't want to say it was too conservative, but you could definitely see there was a difference between the first half and the second half. He said it himself. He wishes he could have gotten, George Kittle another pass for 5 yards. It wasn't that his number wasn't called. It just wasn't there. Because he did throw in certain situations. Dante Pettis made a rookie mistake in going out of bounds. Instead of staying in bounds and letting the clock run right before the 2-minute warning. I think it was like 3:31 that we had left or something like that. And then, but I don't want to say that it's been too conservative. I think that he was calling plays to put our offense, basically run the ball when we need to run the ball, first and second down, throwing on third down, getting the first down, running on first down, running on second down. He was basically protecting the football, time management, and getting first downs. So I thought that he called the right game plan at the end, and I think the defense towards the end, the defense looked like they started losing that little juju that they had going on, and I got a little nervous, like, oh man, here we go. I shouldn't say juju if any Steeler fans are watching right now, because they're probably pissed off. But yeah, the juju looked like it was lacking off a little bit. I'm like, here we go. We're not gonna play a full 60 minutes. Everybody's gonna blame this on Kyle Shanahan because he didn't throw it into the end zone and take another chance. But when you're not winning games and nothing's going your way, protect the football, march downfield, protect the clock, and win the football game.
That's you alluded to it right there at the end, right before your closing statement. People kill Kyle Shanahan all the time for being too aggressive. When the game is in hand, you got a big lead, protect the lead, right? You don't need to add to it, just protect it, right? And I personally saw a coach who was pulling back the reins and not being as aggressive, right? And had we had lost this game, let's say Nick Mullins took that kneel, if he knelt a little too early and they bombed and Hail Married and they scored, they kicked the extra point and they won by 1, right? People are going to say, oh, my God, Shanahan should have been more aggressive. He should have went after it and tried to score more instead of running the ball so much. They couldn't stop Kittle all day. How come Kittle disappeared in the second half, right? That's what people would have said.
Mm-hmm.
But if Shanahan was doing that and there was an interception or we ended up losing, they were going to say, this is what it happens. You know, we saw it in Atlanta. They gave up a 20-plus point lead in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. It's damned if you do and it's damned if you don't all the time. And that's where we also end up critiquing Robert Saleh. We always say you don't blitz enough, but when you blitz enough or too much, you leave the secondary exposed. When you don't blitz, you don't get the pressure and they pick you apart. Either way, it's damned if you do, it's damned if you don't. My point with all that is we overreact so much as a fan base that we can only appreciate things if we win. And I don't think that's right. And that's what you and I have been trying to do all year long. We've been going back and forth in the Robert Saleh thing. And I don't know if we've settled at a common ground or not, but it hasn't been easy trying to judge and look at Robert Saleh or even at the job that Kyle Shanahan is doing in critical times. You looked at that third down conversion to Dante Pettis on that one play. I think it was like an 18-yard catch or something like that. But he had that third down conversion, and he was running out there trying to call a timeout. If he had got that timeout off, and the next play wasn't successful, all of a sudden Kyle Shanahan doesn't know what he's doing. Kyle Shanahan's crazy, you know, and he was man enough to go to the podium and joke about it at the end of the game. And not joke about it, but you know what I mean. He was man enough to talk about it and be open enough about it at the end of the game. And I like that about him. That's what I say all the time is I really do think that we have one of the best offensive minds in the entire NFL, if not the best. And I enjoy everything that Kyle Shanahan brings to the table. We just got to be patient as fans. We have to remember what we're working with right now. A lot of practice squad players are starting for us. A lot of fifth and after round draft picks are starting for us. A lot of undrafted free agents are starting for us. We just got to keep in mind the caliber of players that we're using. And like I said, it's a miracle that we can put up 20 points in the game and even be competitive in these things. Whether if we had a loss today on the Hail Mary, that last play of the game, and they kicked that extra point, it still would have been a hell of a game to see that we were in it as long as we were. That's the God's honest truth, man.
Yeah, you know, and everybody's going to have different opinions. Like D Mills, which is like one of our homies, he said I had a horrible take on that. He said, play the same way that you got the lead. Well, we did play the same way we got the lead. The only thing we didn't do was throw to George Kittle. And it also depends on coverages. It depends on how they adapted the second half. Go ahead.
Shanahan actually spoke on that. Shanahan said the people went to him early in the first half, late in the first half, early in the second half, and told him about the record that Kittle was on pace to break. And he said we wanted to get it for him, but they changed coverages. They did things a little different to prevent Kittle from being as effective throughout the rest of the game. So it's not as easy as just keep calling the same plays and keep running it out there.
What else did people see different from the first half to the second half? That's the only difference, is they didn't throw the ball to Kittle. I mean, Kittle had 4 catches or 6 catches, whatever it was, 7 catches in the first half, and they were all explosive plays. They were all for, 10, 15 yards to 30 yards to 50 yards to 85 yards. So, you see if like you guys say that, play to win the game. Well, I don't think that we did anything. I don't think we did anything that would cause us to lose the game. I think we did play to win the game. I think we did time management. Maybe he could have threw the ball more on first down. But like I said, a lot of receivers were slipping. It takes one little slip in coverage and you're only up by 6 points, and they take a pick back to the house and the game's over. Then you'll say, well, why was he throwing on first down? So
I prefer to run on first down anyway. You run on first down and you have a lot more control over your destiny. You run and you gain 6 yards, or you run and you gain 2 yards. Now you know what you're working with your last 2 reps. You throw on first down and it's incomplete. You got to have a nice big gain on second down. You have to, in order to stay competitive in third down. So I think you have more control if you run the ball on first down. You're guaranteed, or at least as long as you don't get a tackle for loss or tackle at the line of scrimmage, you're guaranteed to kind of control your down and distance from that point forward. You know what I mean? It just makes more sense to me that way. I guess I'm a conservative type of guy. But, Here's the crazy thing about today's game, and this is we're heading down the final stretch here. I think the 49ers played the same style of football today that we've played all year long. The only difference is that the defense was able to maintain. That's it. The defense plays good football. They play football the same exact way. We didn't have any turnovers this game. No one's complaining about it. Why? Because we won. No one's complaining about turnovers because we maintain the dominance up front and the constant pressure and good coverage all game long. We have good coverage every single game. It just falls apart at the end of the games and the 2-minute drills.
It's just, like I said, it was just lack of finishing. It was just lack of finishing, and that's what I said. We lost. I already named, 4 games? The 2 Arizona games, the Green Bay game, and the Giants game. It's 4 games we lost on the 2-minute drive, at the end of the game. That's not finishing. We gave the lead up with 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left, a minute and a half left, and so I don't want to say that it's conservative. So you got to make the right call. I mean, let me look at this comment because I saw something I wanted to talk about real quick.
All right, yeah, go ahead. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right though, man. It's like we've been playing this way all year. The only difference is the defense maintained, and then here's this: we play the same exact way all year, but you throw in Jimmy Garoppolo and you throw in Jimmy Garoppolo and you throw in McKinnon, right? And all of a sudden, a check down goes for another first down, and then the drives continue, and then we get 3 points instead of no points in the second half, or a couple of those drives in a touchdown and a field goal. Now we add 10 points in the second half instead of no points. Now all of a sudden the game is 30-14, and it looks like we dominated from start to finish in the game, where it's just a matter of a couple of different plays. Well, that's what happens when you have your starting quarterback and your running back in there on the offensive side of the ball. It's just, perception, man. It's such a fine line that determines what people's output and what their overall perspective is on the game, when the truth of the matter is just the play here or there that makes the biggest difference in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at the first drive. Like, we scored 3 on the first drive. We literally walked down the field, and we got in the red zone and it shut down, and we only walked away with 3. Who's that on? Is that on Kyle Shanahan's play calling? No, it was on the lack of execution from the players. Drop pass, the one we could have scored on our final offensive drive. We
that was a drop pass by Pettis there.
By Pettis, a 3rd and 7. So that pass is a first down. It was a lack of execution from a player. Dropped the pass. That was a first down. He was wide open. Just thinking about his next move. But this comment was said, you also forget Goodwin didn't play a lot in the second half. Go back and watch it. He was only in there a handful of plays, including the ball he caught late. Kittle was bracketed the entire second half. So that makes a difference. We talked about Marquise Goodwin. That makes a difference of him not being in there every single play. Makes a difference. Kittle gets picked up more. It dictates type of coverage. And that's from Coach Tim. So I just wanted to get that through out there. But it's definitely I think everything that we've gone over. D Mills says, you may have a point, Mike. I still don't agree with y'all though. It's all right. D Mills is a good dude, so don't make me block you out of here. No, I'm just messing around. But yeah, so look, I'm happy our team won tonight. It pissed me off that a lot of fans were just like, you guys are wanting to win, blah blah blah. Like, dude, I like winning more than a draft capital. I'm sorry. Like, if we want that number 1 pick, there's ways to go and get it. If we lost it, if we want that player, there's ways to go get it. And truthfully, Niners fans are going to be pissed when we don't draft Bosa, bro. If we get the number 1 pick and we don't draft Bosa,
I don't think
so insane. But you also got to look at what's going to help your team in the long run. You have 5 picks this year. If you go out and you spend 5 players on free agency and 5 picks, that number 1 carries so much draft capital up to what you could do. Look what we got for swapping 1 pick. Like, what you could get for that number 1 overall pick, you could build your team better at more positions than just 1 position.
Yeah. I mean, people are worried about getting Nick Bosa, and you got to remember that guys like DeMarcus Lawrence are going to be available. Guys like D Ford who can help us also. And all of a sudden, with the #1 pick, if it's the #1 overall pick, you don't need to get Nick Bosa because there's other guys who I think are going to be better system fits anyway. And I like Josh Allen. I really, really like that guy. If we have a top 3 pick, I hope we trade back, regardless of who's on the board. I really, really hope we trade back. I honestly do.
I'm totally with you on it. And I'm an Ohio State fan, and I love Nick Bosa. But I mean, I just think that we can use the help at more positions than just one player. And you don't even know if he's going to pan out. Not to say that he's not a great athlete, but he could. I mean, players have been sold that high and not pan out. Like, it just happens. It's the NFL draft. He could get one injury and it'd be season ending. With any player that can happen. So that #1 overall pick's nice, but I think I like it more because obviously we don't need a quarterback. If we needed a quarterback and there was a great quarterback coming out, that's a different story. You can find legitimate pass rushers, and there's a ton of them in this draft. They don't have to be named Nick Bosa. Like you said, Josh Allen, Pilot.
Polite,
Yeah. There's a ton of guys here that you could literally draft, or you can go out and pay the money for a D Ford. Try to get a DeMarcus Lawrence. There's other ways to do it. And not only do you spend in free agency, you pick up one of these guys. Now you can pick up a young rookie who can get mentored by these guys. You have future, and you can get more picks because we have a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 7th right now, I think. Right? Yeah. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 7th. No.
I think it's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 7th.
Yeah, 7th. So, definitely our definitely #1 priority is edge rusher. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that, but it just doesn't have to be Nick Bosa. The world's not going to end if we don't get Nick Bosa. I know a lot of people will hate that, but.
But yeah, so. All right, man. Any other comments in there? I mean, I got some final thoughts here, and then I think we should wrap it up. But I want to see if there's any other comments that you want to touch on from the chat.
No, I mean, just our shirts are. If you do want to get shirts, I've been shipping shirts out all week. If you do want to get shirts, it's usually about a week turnaround. If you want to get one for Christmas or anything like that, I sent out some shirts. We may be coming out with another design shortly. Depends. I'm going to figure some stuff out tomorrow. But you guys already know what our shirts look like. It's right here. Birth of a Dynasty. That's on the white T-shirt.
Ugly ass shirt. Hope you're donating your proceeds.
Yeah, I hope they're watching. But anyway, that's the Dwight Clark play with every position player in their position with their actual number. And on the back it says NB Niners, obviously, to support us, and 87 for honor Dwight Clark. So if you haven't gotten yours already, I know a couple of our YouTube watchers have ordered some. I have shipped those out. You can hit me up through DM on Twitter, Facebook. You can email me at nick@nothingbutniners.com, and I can go through there. Hoodies are $40 plus shipping and handling. T-shirts are $30 plus shipping and handling. And that's pretty much it that I have.
I got one more question for you concerning the game, and then my final thoughts. Do you think that the game would be different if the wide receiver didn't go down for the Broncos this game?
No, I don't. I think our defense was just playing really well today. I think they were meshing well. Their communication was good. I mean, it's hard to say because, I mean, you know, it's the same as the Marquise Goodwin thing. I don't think one person can win you a game. So, I mean, they can win you a game, but I don't think they're the reason that you have success. I mean, it goes through dictation of defenses and stuff like that, but you still have to play the game. So, you know, they had their best pass rushers out there, dude. These guys have 13 sacks and 12.5 sacks. Like, it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, I could sit here and say, okay, well, if you didn't have Von Miller or Bradley Chubb, it's going to make a huge difference because you're not going to get the same type of pass rush. I think we would have put 40 points up. But they got that pass rush from Bradley Chubb. and Von Miller. So, those type of players can be play changers, but I don't think one wide receiver makes that much of a difference other than defensive scheme overall.
All right. Yeah, I agree. You talked right into it. You started out, I said, no, I think our defense was just on. And then you talked about how one player could dictate coverage, but overall, you felt like it would have been the same result. So I'm with you there. I'm not going to elaborate on it any more than that. My final thoughts for the game are this, man. The 49ers, believe it or not, played similar football to what we've been playing all year. Fans are happier about it because of the end result. But this is the type of game that we've been seeing all year long. The difference is that final drive in our favor. And if you can be happy with tonight's results because it was a W, you should be happy that we're competitive overall, week in and week out, even if it ends in a loss. Especially considering the losses that we've suffered throughout the entire season. So I want to encourage the fans to stay patient, guys. Remain faithful and try to remain open-minded about what you're seeing on the football field, okay? Keep in mind the players that we're running out there and we're starting. Keep in mind the players that we've lost, the players that we've gained, and the experience that a lot of these young guys have out there, okay? If you keep all that in mind, and I know it's a lot, if you keep all that in mind, I think you have a different perspective on the football games in general, all right? You won't stress about it as much, and it becomes a much more enjoyable experience to sit down and watch a football game when your expectations aren't way up here unjustifiably. So sit back, relax, enjoy the games, guys. Those are my closing thoughts for the game. Nick, final words are for you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, guys, we know what we got on the field this year. But I'm never going to sit there and wish for a loss. I'm never going to sit there and patronize a team for wanting to win. I've seen it all night on social media. No, don't do this because, now we have to hope that the Raiders win to keep the first pick. Guys, we don't play this game based off draft capital. I'm a fan of this team, and I want to see them win. It doesn't matter if I end up going from the number 1 pick to the number 4 pick. I have faith in my front office that they'll get the job done and getting what they need. It doesn't need to be one specific person. So with that said, like Mike said, don't set your expectations high. We know what kind of content we're putting on the field. And it's been a building year since we lost Jimmy Garoppolo. It's been a building year since we lost Jerick McKinnon. We all knew this, starting with Jerick McKinnon and, the play of CJ Beathard, losing Adrian Colbert, losing key pieces that we were supposed to go in the season with. My expectations went out the window. Were they still high? Like, okay, I think we can turn this around or pull out a win. Yeah. But I really don't have the Niners to win. I really didn't have the Niners to win another game. I still picked them in my Pick'em League today. I still picked the Niners to win. I'm probably only one of the people that did it. But I did it because I just had a weird feeling. But I didn't bet any money on it, so it was just a free pick. But I would not bet on the Niners. I bet money on the Niners winning any more games this year. And that's not because I'm not a fan. It's just because our talent level is not really there. So call me what you want. But anyway, if you want to follow us on Instagram, it's Nothing But Niners. Check out our website, nothingbutniners.com. You can also follow us on Snapchat and Twitter at NothingBut9ERS. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube, as well as the little bell for your notifications to let you know when we go live. You can follow me on Twitter at 49erfaithful365. You can follow Mike on Twitter at 49ersMike_NF, as in Niner fan. And if you like a shirt or anything like that, you can email us at nick@nothingbutniners.com or mike@nothingbutniners.com. And we normally answer you right back, one of us. And you can hit us up on DM, Facebook, Nothing But Niners Facebook group page as well. So it's pretty much it that I have.
All right, guys, we're going to get up out of here. Nick said it all. Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful. We're out. Peace.